Hi everyone, this is Donny Lowy from Closeout.com. Today I'm going to discuss with you how to really find good wholesale deals in New York. Now you could probably apply these ideas to any city where you're located in. Since my wholesale business is in New York, that's the area I'm mostly familiar with. Okay, so there's a few things you could do. First, you could go online and you could start by searching for wholesale warehouses, wholesale businesses, closeout brokers. Use, of course, keywords such as New York. You could focus on Brooklyn, Manhattan, the Bronx. You could look in the tri-state area. You could look in New Jersey, also in Connecticut. You could look in Manhattan, of course. You could go to the garment district, or it's called the fashion district. Now, one of the things that you want to do is you want to look for brands that are based in New York, because often these brands will have showrooms, and at those showrooms, you could get closeouts, whether it's their overstock, the samples they use to show the previous season's merchandise to buyers at department stores, and then they can also refer you to wholesalers that carry their closeouts and their overstock. So, for example, a lot of my merchandise is either overstock from department stores or it's overstock from designers, from brands. So let's say you went to an up-and-coming designer and she said to you, oh, you know what, I just sold a large lot of my handbags, which was the case with the designer who was selling in QVC. I bought from her previous season's handbags. So now, let's say you would approach her, go to her showroom, and she would tell you, oh, you know what, you could go to Closeout Explosion. He actually carries my merchandise from last year. So now, that doesn't just apply to me and to the designer I dealt with. It also applies to a lot of designers and other brands that are located in New York. So you can go to the brands directly, find out if they have a showroom where you could buy their closeouts and their samples from a previous season. You can ask them to refer you to a wholesaler that buys their closeouts. They might not be interested in selling only 100 or 1,000 pieces, but they might have sold 10,000 pieces of the merchandise to a wholesale warehouse. Now will be happy to sell to you. You can also, of course, go to the fashion district, walk around, introduce yourself to the showrooms. They might be able to recommend you to someone else. And, definitely still use the yellow pages, because there's a lot of wholesale places, especially businesses that have been around for 30, 40 years, that might not yet be on the internet, and you could find their contact information in the yellow pages. And also you could go online, because there's a lot of trade organizations that either represent clothing manufacturers, represent dress designers, and what they'll do is they'll have a list on their website of members. So they'll have a list, for example, of dress designers in Manhattan. They'll have, for example, a list of clothing manufacturers in the New York area. So those are definitely a few ways you could find some really good deals. And look, there is no silver bullet. A lot of these approaches take a lot of effort. They do take time, but the results could be really good. I mean, you could find yourself one deal which could help you do really well and give you great profit margin. It's just a matter of doing your research and then actually putting in the footwork. I would always recommend, when you can, go in person. When someone calls my warehouse, it's one thing, but when they actually show up in person, they see what I have, it benefits them because they can make their own selection, and it benefits me as well because I see I have a real serious buyer. So when you approach a wholesaler and you actually show up in person, whether you're going to the actual designer, to a clothing manufacturer, to a wholesale business, you're showing them you're serious, you're showing them you're ready to buy, and it's a beneficial relationship to both of you, and hopefully, you could come out ahead and you could do very well. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're in New York, please come to my warehouse. I'm in Brooklyn, New York. My website is Closeoutexplosion.com. Thank you so much. Have a really good day.